Newy Scruggs on the Boomer Jacks Bar and Grill Hotline. My guy from NBC5 on Shan and RJ. Good morning, boss. What are you doing awake already?
It's what you got to do. By the way, we sent Meredith Yeomans and CJ Johnson, so we sent another reporter and a photographer, man. So, my man John Stone, he went all out for us to make sure that this Game 7 was, covered, man.
What was it like there? I saw you taking the video of the Astros fans leaving, and then take us inside that celebration as well.
Hey, man, they knew. I mean, they knew, like, yeah, we're about to leave. Okay, so the Astro fans are like, okay, man, it's 10 spot. Nah, let's go. And then I was down by the Diamond Club. That's where all the expensive seats are and all the good food, all that kind of stuff. So I went down there, and those folks were all done. And then you can see the usher. We'll see you next year now. It was, they had all that orange. People were like, yeah, man, we're checking out. So by the end, it was the lower bowl of the stadium was a bunch of Ranger fans chanting. And as I say this and talk to you now, it gives me the chills being back in Miami in 2011 when the Mavericks won it. And so by the end, all the Heat fans are gone and the Mav fans are right there and they're chanting and they're excited. It was really cool. One great moment. I'm so happy I was able to get the interview with Ray Davis, the owner. Ray does not do interviews.
Yeah, he spoke for three. He gave
said 3 words.
3 words on the podium.
So Ray doesn't do it. I remember one time I was talking to John Blake, the Rangers PR guy. I said, what about Ray? He's like, he told me one time, he's like, don't even ask. I'm like, don't even ask. I'm not doing it. So I see him on the podium, and through the years, he and I have had some really good conversations, especially about when I was going to business school about things and accounting and stuff. So through the years, that's been our bulk of our conversations. Never about baseball, but about business school. And so I said, Ray, can I get you? He said, sure. And there he went, man. Got him. And he was great. And you guys remember the press conference he had when he had made the changes for the manager and the general manager about wanting to win and wanting the fans to win. And you have to give Ray Davis credit because he wrote the check. Yeah. So DeGrom gets hurt, and then he goes right back and says, okay, fine. I'll write another check to go get Max Scherzer and Jordan Montgomery. It starts at the top. We and Chop, you and I have been working in this market for 20 years, man, over 20 years. And just we see what happens when people want to spend the money and then the fans react. And so I'm really happy for everyone in the organization and also the fan base, for the people who've gone through this thing, man, because we've seen some rough ones, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Newy, the rep was that Rangers ownership was too cheap to spend. That they didn't care. They weren't going to go ahead and bust open the purse, and then all of a sudden, off season bam, and here you are with some big time salaries and names.
Sure, and I go back to John Daniels, who was the general manager who got Marcus Semien and Corey Seager. He starts right at the middle, and John knew that he had to get the bats before he could go get the arms, because pitchers don't want to go play on a team that nobody can hit. They don't want the ERAs jumping up. So that's starting that process. And then Chris Young, who was with John, finishes it. When I talked to him last night in the clubhouse, he made sure he gave John credit. And when I was talking to Josh Boyd and other people, they had mentioned, John and what he was doing here. So they started this thing, and they're 4 wins away from truly finishing it for the first time as a franchise.
Newy Scruggs, NBC5, back from Houston on the Boomer Jacks Bar and Grill Hotline. Newy, how would you describe this run? How would you describe this team and the run that they have been on?
I like to tell people, man, it's amazing when you ask God for something, you want His blessing, and then He takes you through all kind of turns in order for you to get it. You think about, here they are in Seattle, and you lose the division, and then they're criticized. Oh, you guys celebrated before you actually won the division. And so you leave Seattle, and then you go to Tampa, who had the winningest record at home in all baseball. You sweep them. Then you go straight to Baltimore, who won 101 games, and their crowd was electric, and you win there. Then you get one game at home. The fans pack it for the first ever Globe Life playoff game. You win that. And then after that, it comes Houston, a team that has dominated you, who's owned you in your own ballpark. You go in Houston, you're up 2-0, and then they come take 3 straight. And it looks like, I don't know how they're going to figure it out. And then it becomes the Adolis Garcia show. Who thought Adolis Garcia could have a league championship series better than what we saw from Josh Hamilton in 2010 and Nelson Cruz in 2011? What we saw was sensational. And I'll tell you, just sitting there at the first base, because they put us in the TV, they put us outside, the boos, the hate, and he gave it all right back multiple times. These people decided to leave. Man, can't boo this man no more. I'm going home. That was something. I mean, remember when Drew Pearson was in Philadelphia and he did the draft pick and he was just giving it all right back? That's what Adolis Garcia did. And he just made them all take it. And and Chop, you know I'm that big Carolina basketball fan. Yep. And when that Final Four happened between Carolina and Duke, immediately I just jumped on all my friends and said, you can't ever say anything to me. Nothing. Just the rest of your life. Duke swept Carolina last year. I said, I don't care. Got the Final Four on you. And so if you're a Ranger fan, Houston fans can't ever say anything to you. I don't care how many championships you won, because when it came time for me and you to go at it, you went down. And in your house 4 times. That one.
4 times.
4 times.
You think
they have championships, but when it came to you, me, and you, Ranger fan can sit up here and say, "Man, we got you."
Yep. Do you think the Bochy impact was bigger after the Seattle series and heading to Tampa, or before this Game 7?
I think it started when he walked in here. I remember going to his press conference and seeing Bochy, and Simeon was there and other people. They wanted a guy like him. And when you bring in a Bochy, now you can go sign an Evaldi. Now you have a DeGrom who says, I'll come here because this man knows what to do. 3 times he's won the World Series. He went there 4th. I was there at the San Diego World Series that they lost to the Yankees. And the Yankees were just, that was a legendary dominant team they lost to. But that team was a heck of a team. And all the people who just believed in him and what he was doing, and he transfers it to the Giants. I mean, the guy's sensational. This is the second time he's beaten Dusty Baker in a winner-take-all series. It happened in 2012 when he was with the Giants and came from down 0-2 and beat them in Cincinnati 3 games. I just believe from the day he got here, and it just keeps happening because these dudes have so much confidence. He is truly, in my estimation, probably the greatest manager/head coach we've seen in this town since Jimmy Johnson.
Ooh. Yeah, because it just didn't make sense to me when they hired him. It felt like, something's wrong with him. Why
like a LaRussa going to Chicago kind of thing?
Well, LaRussa was felt like he was
way older,
but it's like this job is beneath Bruce Bochy. Like, why didn't anyone else want to go out there and hire Bruce Bochy? It didn't make any sense at all.
Cash, right? Because this is a shot in the arm for kind of the old school, because the new teams, the new way it is they want to pay these managers $900,000 a year, and just basically run them out there, have them run out there the lineup that the front office puts together, and that's different now with Bochy, and it was different with Dusty too in Houston.
You're right. And so here's the thing. It's Chris Young, former player of his, who says this is the vision, this is the strategy, and then Ray Davis backs it up. Yes, we will give you the resources and everything you need. Bruce Bochy just wasn't going to come out and manage any team. He was going to do it, but also do it with the power to do it his way. And as you said, Chop, you weren't going to give him the lineup. You weren't going to go out and pick his coaches. He was going to do that. And they allowed him to do it, which I go back to. This is where you credit, Ray Davis from the top to empower Chris Young. And he spoke about that. Hey, I gave Chris what he needed. And then Chris was on point. And, I mean, you guys remember when they got Parcells around here, things had to be a certain way in order to do it. There was some other stuff in there too, but, to get a Hall of Fame type person to come out of it, they're not going to damage their reputation by taking something over that's not, something that they don't think can be good. There was a vision, there's a strategy, man, and they've executed it. Said four more. And wow, what would that be? And how about Bochy, first manager to take 3 different teams to a league championship series and win it? Wow.
We're talking with Newy Scruggs from NBC5. Newy, when you look at this.
Bobby!
Yeah, what's up, Newy?
Bobby, all right.
When you look at the intensity,
Hey, is he annoying out there like he isn't here out at the Star?
Nah, man. Bobby, my guy. Even though Jerry don't want to give him credit, you know. Shan, RJ, and friends.
Friends, that's right.
Put that man name on the marquee, doggone it. Put it on the marquee.
No, he put Bobby's name on the marquee. He said Bobby and friends.
yeah, the first time he said Bobby and everybody because he forgot Sean Arch's name, and then he had to correct
everybody.
it. Yeah, then he had to come back and correct it. When you look at this series though between Houston and Texas. You know, we were talking to Sandler, and Sandler talked about like it's really personal. It feels like for people on both sides, like they really don't like each other. Did you get that sense covering this that this was like one of the more personal series you can remember seeing for a DFW sports team? Like, hey, we really just don't like these guys.
Yeah, I mean, this one is to me so old being around here. Miami and the Mavericks. Okay, there's no love lost for the Miami Heat. Even when D-Wade was retiring, came back. It's like, yeah, man, don't look for no gifts here. Yeah. You know, nobody's praising you here, not here.
Yeah,
and there was just that. So it's that's there, and then that dislike that Cowboys fans have for the Eagles. Yeah, it's there for the Rangers and the Astros, and just being in the building, just as a media member, just watching this stuff and just being outside. That was the beauty of them taking us out of the press box, who were not writers, and putting us out there basically in the stands. It's just, you heard all the venom, you heard the stuff, man, and it was because I was surrounded by Astro fans. So I was surrounded by the Astro fans right there first on the first base side, and then down there, that Diamond Club, where we would have to go down to the press box and just do our stuff, in the lower basement area. You just saw how much the rich folks couldn't stand them, and then the common fan couldn't stand them. And they were there to boo. They were there and then the arrogance, okay? There was some arrogance around. We're Houston, okay? They got the World Series banners all around and the pictures of it, and yeah, they just assumed. And then in the media dining hall, there was one guy talking about, Philadelphia would have home field advantage. And we're like, no, Rangers have home field. But they just assumed that Houston was going to win. And I was talking to Jim Bowden before, because Jim had called Game 6. Yeah, no, I got Rangers. I said, what about tonight? Yeah, it's Astros. So there was just this assumption that they were going to win and get it done. And it didn't happen.
Who do you want next?
Dude, you think I want to go to Philadelphia? No.
You don't want to go to Heaven's Wedding Room either, though.
You don't. You pass on the Eagles game each year, right?
Dude, I ain't been in that Eagles game since 2018. Like, no.
What?
No.
Really?
See, here's my problem with those Eagle fans. Like, you can't even show up to wear like your NBC5 gear or have your mic flag on, because these dudes want to say stuff and jump on you and grab your can. I ain't the guy to be you grabbing and you half drunk trying to run up on me. I'm not that person. So I just, for my own personal and me slugging somebody, I'm not going. Like, I don't need that.
All right. What about just
last night?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So here's the thing. Last night, Jason Bristol over KHOU told me, he said, hey, you guys need to get security up there. He said, we had to go get it last year. And that is truly the issue, man. They go after the media, and then, of course, the security folks around there, they let that stuff happen. They do. So if I got my choice, I'd rather see Arizona win, but the Diamondbacks president is a guy named Derek Hall. D. Hall used to be the PR guy with the Dodgers, who later on quit and did radio with me and some others in L.A., and so I'd love to see D. Hall be able to get his squad there and go out there and see him. And I'd rather go spend my time in Arizona than Philadelphia.
Wait a second. The Diamondbacks president is a former radio guy?
Well, he was a PR guy who got let go. And so during that time, he was doing radio. So he was on, it was him and John Ireland maybe together for a while. But yeah, so D. Hall was doing radio for a while. I'll tell you who else was in the promotions team for us back then, and I didn't even know it, but it was Tom Herman, former Texas coach.
Oh, wow.
over there at Extra Sports 1150, and we're the Dodger station. So yeah, so D Hall did it for a little bit. Then he somehow he latched on with the Arizona Diamondbacks and got promoted up like CEO and president. Man.
All right, this one's just tailor-made set up for you. You interview him every year. You'll text us some questions or reaction after he comes on every Tuesday at 8:30. The number one question from the Tolos is, will and does Jerry Jones care that all the rest of the teams in this Metroplex go to their championship or conference championship round and the Cowboys can't sniff it?
Oh, you know he cares very much. I mean, he cares a lot, man. I mean, you think about, take Stan Kroenke, for instance, the Rams owner.
Yeah.
That's his boy. And remember, he went on your show and said that the commissioner came to him and said, Jerry, we'll give you the L.A. market. We want you to go get a team and sell the Cowboys. And he said no. So he helped Stan do it, blocked out Mark Davis of the Raiders and Spanos of the Chargers from getting in L.A. because the relocation committee had approved them to go in together. But Jerry bull-carded and got Stan there. So help Stan. Stan builds, a bigger Jerry world, gets a stadium, and then he goes wins the Super Bowl. Jerry has to watch it. He told me, I screamed in the pillow watching Stan. So that's just Stan. You can imagine what he has to sit around here in his own town and watch.
What's the
question?
How do we ask him about it? Give me the Newy Scruggs question. How do we bring that up to him at 8:30?
You do it. You do it like Clarence Hill does. Jerry calls it tenderness. So you do it with tenderness.
Yeah,
Jerry, I know you love the community, and I know you're
so invested here.
Right.
So invested in DFW.
Right. You see Dak out there at the games, and people are having fun. They're enjoying what's going on here, but. Jerry, they're worried. We're wondering about you.
Yes.
No. See,
is there a healthy jealousy?
See, there's that, but Newy, you also gotta, if you're gonna ask it like Clarence, you gotta push the responsibility onto the Nationals. So you gotta ask Jerry. You gotta go. Some in the national media, Jerry, are saying that you haven't won anything like the Rangers have.
Yeah.
Shady said your ownership's ass.
The great Newy Scruggs, already awake, back from Houston to recap everything.
I'm still in Houston. I'm still here, man.
Oh, you are? When are you getting out of there?
At 9 o'clock. I'm driving back, man. 9 o'clock.
Did the champagne burn?
It was mainly beer.
Okay.
It didn't burn because I made sure I could see where guys are coming to pour, and I would just step back and hold the mic out. I'm a vet on this one, man. I'm pretty good.
Was Scherzer the biggest nut job in there?
No. There was a group of dudes with Heaney that were just all into it, and they were singing the creed and everything. Man, they were going at it pretty hard, man. They were going at it pretty hard. Will Smith was over there going at it pretty hard, and good for them on the road they've been on. Yep. This is major, and so much of it reminded me of the Mavericks run in 2011, which was not easy as well. And there were just every round they went, it was doubters. I mean, starting with that against the Blazers, there was doubt against the Blazers. There was they're not going to beat the Lakers. They sweep the Lakers, and then they go take out Oklahoma City, and then it's like, well, you're not going to beat the Heatles, and they did it. So this very much reminds me, because you think about who they beat. Tampa won 99 games, best record at home. Orioles, best record in the American League, 101, and then to come out here beat the world champions, all at their place 4 times. None of us saw that.
Man, fantastic stuff. Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate it. Drive home safe.
Love you guys, man. Tolo, baby.
New dog, Newy Scruggs, my psychiatrist, my shrink, on the Boomer Jacks Bar and Grill Hotline.